Steak and lobster, the king and queen of the table. To me, it's about more than indulgence. It's about treating these incredible ingredients with respect and bringing every ounce of their flavor onto the plate. So today, a steak seared to perfection, crowned with a lobster butter béarnaise that tastes like the ocean itself. This dish is all about the sauce, and it is a delicious one. I've already broken down my lobster into claws, the tail, and the head. Watch the linked video for a full breakdown tutorial, or ask for your fish market to do it for you. What we're after first is the heads, which, while I get a pan nice and hot, I'm gonna clean out the tomalley and roe. Split the heads right in half, and then chop them up into large chunks. Then add olive oil to the hot pan and toss in the heads. Cook these while stirring occasionally until they're bright red and lightly browned. Think toasting, not roasting. Then add in a nice spoonful of tomato paste, stir and cook it for a minute or so, then toss in a garlic clove, a couple of sprigs of thyme, and a full pound of butter. Bring this up to a very gentle simmer and let it go for about an hour, while occasionally stirring and enjoying the incredible smells. After an hour, grab a strainer and press the lobsters to extract as much of that delicious butter as possible. Then let it sit for a few minutes and pour out the clear red butter and leave behind the milk solids on the bottom. Methods like this are, to me, really the heart and soul of great cooking. When you take stuff that would otherwise end up in the garbage, and with simple technique, you turn it into something memorable and truly delicious. You can do this ahead, let this butter sit in your fridge, or set it aside while we cook the lobster and steak and get ready to finish the sauce. All you need to do to cook a great steak is season it with plenty of salt and sear it. But because this recipe has some sitting around and doing nothing, I'm taking advantage of that by putting it into a quick marinade. And because I'm going with this beautiful thick cut of tenderloin, I'm tying it once around just snug to make sure it keeps its shape when we roll it around the pan. And we're gonna make a simple marinade right over the top of the meat with crushed thyme and rosemary, a garlic clove, plenty of good olive oil, and a single drop of sherry vinegar. This is a simple but super aromatic marinade. You can let it sit in here for up to 4 hours. I'd try to give it at least 30 minutes. While that's sitting and soaking up all of the flavor, we're gonna cook our lobster. I'm making a poaching liquid or court bouillon by chopping up some leek greens, crushing a few cloves of garlic, juicing a lemon, and adding a couple of sprigs of thyme into a pot, covering it with water and boiling it for about 30 minutes. Then season it with plenty of salt, and while it's boiling, put in the claws for 3 minutes, then add the tail for 4 minutes, then pull everything out and toss it into an ice bath to quickly cool down and make peeling easier. Grab a good pair of kitchen shears and use them to work along the inner side of the tail and pull out all of the meat. Then twist off the claw, crack open the rest, and use your shears to cut out the knuckle meat. Everything we've done before now, except for the marinade, are things you can do the night before. But now that everything is ready, crust your steak with plenty of good salt, all around very deeply seasoned. And then give it a good coating of finely ground black pepper and get a thick pan very hot. Add some oil and sear the steak. Don't touch it until the bottom side is looking beautiful. Then flip it and repeat until the whole thing is deeply crusted all the way around. By far the easiest way to tell when these things are done is to pop a thermometer into it. Personally, with tenderloin, I'd bring this up to 115 Fahrenheit and let resting finish it off. I added butter, thyme, rosemary, and garlic for the last few minutes and pulled this off to let it rest for as long as it sat in the pan while I finished the lobster and the sauce. Grab the tail and put it into a pan with a good pour of lobster butter, then pop it into a 220-degree oven for 10 minutes to warm it through. Dice up the claws and tails and set them aside for finishing the sauce. Chop up 3 sprigs of tarragon and mince a shallot. Set aside a little pile of tarragon and put the rest into a small pan with 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar and a few good turns of black pepper. Boil this to reduce it for a minute or so until about half the liquid is gone. Then add in a tablespoon of cold water and 2 egg yolks. Turn the heat on to low and whisk the sauce on the heat and off the heat until it's just starting to thicken. Then very slowly drizzle in half a cup of the warm lobster butter while you're whisking. Season it to taste with salt and a squeeze of fresh lemon if you'd like. Finally, fold in that last little pile of tarragon and add all of the diced lobster meat. Put that steak onto a plate with the tail and finish it with your sauce, and I hope you enjoy.